Hello my YouTube friends and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I wanted to dive a little bit into some of my tips and some of my strategies that I have been implementing to help beat stress, to help beat anxiety, to help beat winter sadness or sadness in general. And yes, I just wanted to share these tips with you in the hopes that they might be able to benefit and be able to help some of you guys as well. So just to give a little bit of context to this video, it is currently winter in Scotland, and winter in Scotland and in the UK, but Scotland in particular, as we're higher up north, gets very, very dark in winter time. So the sun doesn't come up until about 8:30 at the moment in the morning, and the sun begins to go down around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, which means that we have hardly any hours of sunlight. And it's been scientifically proven that sunlight, vitamin D, is very good for your health and well-being. And yes, we do not get very much sunlight here in Scotland in the winter time. I do find that every winter, as the darker nights tend to roll around, that I do suffer from low mood and I do suffer from low energy. And I said to myself that this year I'm not going to let winter beat me. I want to beat winter. So that's why I'm going to share my strategies with you on how I have managed to do that. So I believe that your morning routine is where you start to paint that picture of how you want your day to look, and it's where you set yourself up for the day ahead. So I have many strategies that start as soon as I wake up. First of all, I like to put my alarm clock away from my bed, which forces me to actually have to get out of bed to switch off my alarm clock. The reason I do that is because I actually struggle to get out of bed, and this is heightened tenfold in wintertime. I also have this alarm clock that lights up gradually, so it means that when I wake up in the morning, my bedroom is already light, and that also helps to feel like I am waking up not in total darkness, because when I open my window it's total darkness outside, but allows me to have that bit of light which makes me feel a little bit more energized when I wake up. Second of all, I actually like to exercise in the morning now. So I actually wake up at 6:30 when my boyfriend wakes up to go to work, and I make sure to get some exercise in before I go to work. Some days I will exercise on my Peloton bike, which is basically a bike which has lots of spin classes on it with different levels, different lengths. It also has a variety of different strength classes, which I do dabble in sometimes also. I just like to mix up my exercise routine and do different things on different days. On my kind of exercise rest days, I really enjoy doing yoga. This is one of my new favorite things. Yoga is so good for your body to stretch out and increase your mobility and increase your flexibility, but it's also so good for your brain because it helps you to switch off, helps you to relax and have a calm mind going into your day. And honestly, I am really loving yoga. I of course use the yoga that comes with my Peloton app, but there's loads of yoga classes on YouTube which are free. So if you don't have access to an actual yoga class, go on YouTube. There's lots of different instructors on there and lots of different videos to do yoga, and trust me, yoga will change your life. And the next thing for my morning routine is that I make sure before I leave the house that I meditate for 5 minutes. Meditation has become such a crucial part of my daily life and for my mental well-being. It is honestly amazing. Just the art of practicing shutting out your thoughts and kind of flicking away your thoughts, and also the art of practicing your breathing to help calm your central nervous system. It's honestly fascinating the effects that it can have on your mental well-being. There's this really great YouTube channel that has 5-minute meditations. I will link it down below because I can't remember the exact name, but this YouTube channel has been very good because it has lots of guided meditations for different things, whether you want to feel more energized, whether you want to kind of declutter your brain, whether you want to feel calm. It has lots of different meditations for lots of different occasions, let's say. Sometimes I'll actually just meditate on my own. I will put on a little meditation playlist on Spotify. I will put on a 5-minute timer and I'll practice my breathing exercises. And there's one breathing exercise that I really love, which involves breathing in through your nose for 4 counts, holding your breath for 2 counts, and then blowing out steadily through your mouth for 6 counts. And you just repeat this over and over for 5 minutes. And trust me, you will feel so calm and so relaxed by the end of it. It's also a good breathing exercise to do before you go to bed, as it helps you to relax and get you into that nice sleepy state for going to sleep. So that's my morning routine. I like to do yoga or exercise every morning to get some movement into my body. I make sure I meditate for 5 minutes before I leave for work, and I put my alarm away from my bed, so I'm forced to get out of bed and I'm not pressing that snooze button multiple times. I actually get up at the time that I want to get up. So the next kind of tip that I have for combating low mood and not feeling great during winter time or any time of the year is that I like to keep up my appearance and to make myself look nice to give me more confidence on a daily basis. So something I typically do is that I put on makeup and I try to make nice outfits and things for going into work every day. And this takes me a little bit more time in the morning, of course, but I do really feel like it benefits me to dress up a little bit and make myself feel good and make myself feel confident. One way I like to kind of jazz up my winter jumpers and my winter thick attire in the winter is through jewelry. And I'm very pleased that this video is actually sponsored by Ana Luisa Jewelry, who I've worked with many times before in the past, and they have very kindly sent me some jewelry which I am wearing throughout winter, and I'm also gifting to some family and friends. This month I was very kindly gifted 3 pairs of earrings. So the first pair are these cross-shaped earrings, which I absolutely love, and they're like nothing that I already own in my collection. I've also been gifted these little dangly ones, which I also don't own anything like these, and I love the little pearl details at the bottom. And the third pair are these silver crystal hoops, which I'm actually going to gift to my brother's girlfriend for Christmas, because of course it is Christmas time and it is gifting season, so I am gathering together some little jewelry gifts to give to family and friends. At the moment, Ana Luisa Jewelry has a winter sale, so if you head to their website, you will find all the details there when you can get up to 35% off their products. I will leave the link below in the description box if you'd like to click on their website and see what the sale has. Thank you again, Ana Luisa, for sponsoring the video and for sending me these gifts. And like I say, jewelry can just transform your outfits. So I make sure that I've got nice earrings on, I'm maybe wearing a necklace, I'm wearing nice but practical shoes, and yeah, I just like to try and jazz up my winter outfits with jewelry and by doing my hair and by doing my makeup. And honestly, it just helps to boost my mood and my energy levels so much. The next thing I've been doing for my well-being during winter time is I've really been looking after my gut health. Studies have shown that your brain health and your gut health are connected, and that your gut health can actually control things like depression, anxiety, ADHD, and so much more. And I have been reading and listening to podcasts about the gut health, and honestly, it is fascinating, and you should all go and read and listen about the gut health right now. I have suffered for, I guess, my whole life with stomach issues and digestion issues, so I am making a conscious effort these days to actually look after my gut, and I'm trying to protect it because I know that up here and down here are connected. So some ways that I'm doing that is that I've actually cut caffeine out of my life. I am not suggesting, by the way, that you guys have to implement any of these strategies into your own life. I am just telling you what has been working for me and what I have been doing. I am not telling you to cut out your morning coffee or your cup of tea or your Pepsi Max or whatever. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what's working for me. Sorry, I just wanted to do a little disclaimer there. So I am actually not drinking any caffeine at all. I was drinking a coffee in the morning or a breakfast tea in the morning, and I was thinking that that was maybe connecting with my kind of digestion and my stomach issues. So for the last maybe month, I have been caffeine free, and so far so good. I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like I need the caffeine, and to be honest, I'm a little bit scared to go back to caffeine just in case I get all jittery and stressful and anxious and everything again. I'm also being conscious to not eat foods which I know trigger my stomach and which I know make me feel sick, because before I would be like, oh, I know fish and chips, deep fried fish and chips will upset my stomach, but I want to be involved and I want to eat it, so I'm going to eat it and bear the consequences. But I am at this point where I do not want to suffer, I do not want to feel sick, I do not want to feel unhappy, so as much as I can avoid foods that trigger my stomach, I am doing that. Another thing that I know triggers my stomach, which can be difficult to cut out of your life when you live in the UK and it's such a big part of our culture, is alcohol. I would sometimes drink alcohol at the weekend and drink quite a few beers or wines, for example, and then I would be suffering for 2 or 3 days after I've actually been drinking. It came to a point where I realized that those couple of hours of feeling a little bit jolly and feeling a little bit buzzy on a Saturday night, for example, are not worth it to have stomach issues for 2 or 3 days afterwards. Therefore, I have decided to almost completely cut alcohol out of my life. I do still have 1 or maybe 2 drinks if I'm in a social setting or I'm at a party, for example. But yeah, I am not drinking for a full day, I'm not drinking for a full night. And it's so good to wake up the next morning hangover free. It's so good to not have stomach issues the next morning. And I honestly do not think that I am going to go back to it again. I think that my body in particular is just particularly sensitive to alcohol. I know some people that could drink the same as me and they will not be affected whatsoever the next day. So their body can obviously tolerate it a lot better than mine can. So everyone is different. Everyone's situation is different. Everyone's stomachs are different. And this is just what is working for me. Okay, so my final kind of tip on how I have been improving my well-being and how I have been increasing my mood and my energy during winter time is that I have been reading and I am really enjoying it. I used to be an avid reader when I was younger and I don't know what happened or where this happened, but I stopped reading. I have a feeling it could have been during my undergraduate and then it carried on into my PhD. You know, you're studying a lot, you're reading books for your studies, and then I just didn't want to read in my spare time. But now that I'm PhD free and I am working, I am honestly just loving reading. So I do read some non-fiction books and I do read some fiction books. I mainly read fiction books because I just find them a lot easier to digest, to be honest. But at the moment I'm reading 2 non-fiction books. One is called Why Has Nobody Told Me This Before? I think that's the name. If that's not the name, I'll put the name up here. But it is by a psychologist and it's all about what she kind of teaches in therapy to her patients about stress, about anxiety, about grief, about everything in life basically. And it's so interesting. I'm so interested in psychology and how the brain works. So I'm really loving that book. I'm also reading The Secret, which is a bit more of a spiritual kind of book about how you can create your own reality and how you can kind of rewire your brain to get what you want out of your life. And that is a very good book. It's a little bit repetitive, but the principles that it teaches in the book are amazing. So that's the non-fiction books that I'm reading. I had set myself a task for, well, a goal for the year that I wanted to read 12 books. So I wanted to read 1 every month. I thought that was pretty manageable, and I'm going to finish my 12th book today. And honestly, I read all sorts of genres of books. I read fantasy, I read romance, I read thrillers, I read just kind of like general literature, ones that I don't know what umbrella they would come under. And I find reading just so good for my brain. It helps me to switch off. It helps me to kind of escape into a different world. It is so good for kind of bringing new perspectives into your lives. You are feeling the emotions of these characters. You are feeling the experiences of these characters. And reading is honestly just so good for your brain. So if you don't currently read, I encourage you to at least read 1 book in 2024. And trust me, it might start a little spark in you and you might want to keep reading throughout the year. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up this video because I feel like I've been chatting for ages, but I hope you enjoyed hearing my tips on how I am staying resilient and how I am kind of feeding my brain and my body during the winter months. And these are not just strategies for the winter months. I'm saying these are strategies for winter because winter is particularly difficult here in Scotland and in the UK, but these are strategies which I will be bringing forward through the rest of 2024, and I will hopefully be implementing for the rest of my life because I am feeling amazing and I am feeling good, and I can't say that I've felt that way in wintertime in previous years. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys have any tips for managing low mood, low motivation, stress and anxiety and other kind of well-being issues, then please do leave your tips down below and let's start a little discussion because I would love to know how you guys combat these in winter and throughout the year. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time. Bye! Don't forget to check out Anna Louisa Jewelry's website where you can view their winter sale and you can get up to 35% off their products.